Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for yet another classic live stream, future classic, should I say so. Um, Before I say any further words, do you mind pressing a one in the chat? If you can please confirm if my audio is clear. Please confirm in the chat, press a one by confirming that audio is good and clear for a good experience for you brothers who's in the building. Okay, press a one. Thank you very much. I'm the Tube 44. I appreciate that, bro. Can I get a couple more ones just to make sure the sound quality is great overall? Nate Cali in the building. Thank you, brother. Matumbo, awesome. Let's get a cracking, man. So, brothers, welcome to another Future Classic. I'm your host, International Passport. I want to say a huge thank you again to all the brothers who support the channel over the past couple of years. Your support is greatly appreciated. And of course, a huge shout out to the brothers who have joined the channel and the movement. I accept and I embrace you with open arms. So, when you come in, please like the video. Like the video. We've got 18 people here. I should see 18 likes. Okay, so we've got 9 likes now. Get the likes up, please. Okay, so please like the video. And when you watch the video again and play it back, like the video, please support the channel throughout tonight. The super chats, please support by the super chats and the PayPal. That'd be greatly appreciated. The PayPal's also there for you brothers to support. And of course, cop the merch too. And of course, join the Patreon for even more incredible intel. Okay, make use of what I'm doing for you brothers. All right, let's get it cracking. So in this live stream, I got a very special guest here who is going to break down Argentina, work in Argentina, the culture, and of course Argentinian women, and of course the Western black man's experience. Mr. Javi, how you doing, brother?
Buen dia. I'm good.
Bon dia means I'm good.
This is good day in Spanish. That's
Good
a
day.
common
Okay,
Argentinian, it's the Spanish version of bon dia, which would apply to our stream from yesterday.
okay, I'll make a note of that. Thank you, Mr. Javi. Javi, do you mind giving us a brief intro about who you are, where you're from, and anything
Yeah,
special
so
about you, brother?
from the East Coast, the US, work in tech and product, usually as a designer and sometimes product manager. We're working remote on and off for a couple of years now with different companies. Pre-COVID, didn't do too much international stuff, went out like a little bit, and then post-COVID, I've been mostly doing more international stuff. Went down to South America and kind of here to share my tale of being in Argentina for quite not super long, but long enough to definitely get a taste of the country.
Fantastic. Let me read a couple of super chats already. Shout out to Mr. J Adam for the $2 super chat. He says, first, J Adams, thank you very much for supporting the channel. First and foremost, that's greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Shout out to Mr. Nate Cali. Welcome back, bro, for the $3 super chat and super sticker. I appreciate the support, bro. Much appreciated. Awesome. So let's get it cracking, bro. Argentina. What city in Argentina were you in, bro?
So I went to Buenos Aires. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you why you chose Buenos Aires and Argentina in general out of all the South American countries to go to, brother?
I heard it's the next Medellin, so I wanted to see what it was about.
Ooh. Who told you that, bro? That was next Medellin.
White boy that I follow on Twitter who runs a blog that I trust his opinion on Latin American countries. And that's what I heard. So I went down there and I could see why he said that.
Okay. Do you mind explaining why you confirmed that it could be the next Medellin? Break it down for us, bro. Why?
So I would say it's either gonna be two routes this goes. It's either gonna be the next Medellin for white boys mainly, or it'll be the next Medellin in general. So the reason I read what I saw was it's safer. So actually I came into Buenos Aires. If anyone's been there, I came in for the international port EZE. That's the abbreviation from Medellin. So I just came in there from Medellin. Medellin's dangerous. Women are cuter. Kind of can be dicey at times. Good city though. Buenos Aires, super developed. The women are super safe. It's like Europe, but in South America. It kind of reminds me of like a Hillary Duff movie. Like you're like you feel like a Fabio on the back of yeah. It's kind of like that's what it plays. It's super safe, good for focusing, great work remote culture. A lot of Europeans down there, like a lot of Brits. I met a black British kid who's actually still there right now. Kids in love with it. Um, yeah, it's just safe. Like it's safe. It's developed. You don't have to really watch your back. You can go out and party. They party till like I want to say 4 or 5 a.m. Pretty good food. It's cheap. It's similar to Medellin. That's cheap. I'll get into the currency stuff a little later. The currency stuff is a little weird. But it's a good place. Like it's you don't have to watch her, but like you have to do in Medellin. That's the simple version of it.
This is incredible intel, brother. Brothers, you won't get any intel like this from any other place, man. This brother said we're giving you first-hand intel, right? Think of us like the New York Times, okay? This is breaking news. Buenos Aires, Argentina is the next Medellin, Colombia, but safer. This is first-hand intel, brothers. You gotta support the channel, man. And another option for you if you work in IT and you remote work as well, right? Another classic intel. So please support so I can continue doing this, man. Amazing intel, Javi. So going on from there, Javi, do you mind breaking down the Western black man's experience, particularly the Black American male, UK black man, and the Canadian black man experience there in Buenos Aires, Argentina?
Yeah, I would say it is a funny place because there's not a lot of black people there. There are some. Most of them are immigrants. They do have local black Argentinians, but like since they kind of did some weird stuff that people obviously know about, yeah, they don't. They're there. They're just not like a big population. But overall, it was fine. I found the people, in my opinion, to be a little timid when interacting with me. Like not in conversation, but like some of the women how they would approach and stuff like, or how they would kind of put themselves in position for me to approach. Some of the stuff it took me a minute to kind of like it. Honestly, it wasn't until I left that I kind of realized like, okay, this person was trying to have me pull up on them. Because coming from Colombia, the approach there was just different. Like it was more okay. Like it was very clear to me. I think the women there are a little timid, and then when I would talk to some of the women, it would kind of fall off, unfortunately, due to like them having some bias around people coming in for a short period of time. I think it's like a they kind of have like a if anyone's been in Seattle, like a Seattle freeze type of thing where it's like you have to kind of crack the friend group. But other than that, like outside of dating, just day to day living, like for the most part, fine. I mean, you do get some funny stuff in certain places, but it's not depends how you look. I think if I'll tell someone to go to Argentina, like business casuals, like Rio's more kind of beach attire, athletic attire, business casual when you want to go to a nice spot. Just it's kind of optional. But here I would say you probably lean a little bit more business casual since it's a city with no beach. So that would kind of get you at least by and definitely start off conversations in English so they know that you're American because that definitely will help. Because Argentinians are cool, but they like I said, they can be a little funny because yeah, there's it's not like
Let me
hardcore,
stop you there, bro.
but they
Let me
have a
stop you there, brother. So, we're gonna go into that part. Let's break it
yeah.
down topic by
I'll
topic,
probably
please.
all right.
So, awesome, bro. So you had a good experience there, in terms of you being a Black American man. That's great, bro. Um, Let me ask this, brother. You were working IT there in Buenos Aires, Argentina. How was it like remote working there in Argentina? Any sort of how was the internet connection? How was the vibes there as an IT professional working there remotely? Do you mind breaking down your experience, please, brother?
Yeah, I mostly worked out of my room there, so I didn't really go to too many co-work. I went to like one. It was fine. It was normal. Like nothing to report. Like normal co-working. I mean, like just me, the only black person, more than likely. But other than that, it wasn't like anything like really special. Internet's good for the most part. I recently told someone they want to go to Medellin or Buenos Aires. I was like, go to Medellin if you want to party and kick back and kind of work. If you want to focus, Buenos Aires is a good place because it's like the women are attractive, but they're not distractingly bad. It's a very business oriented city, so you get the ambition around like you kind of feel like you're in a New York or like a European city, so it has like elements of keep you mission focused in my opinion on like okay I have a task at hand and stuff like that, and then parties happen on the weekend, so it's a good kind of like a Latin American version of a work hard play hard city in my opinion with pretty much similar amenities. I will say to put a pin in this, the internet isn't as strong as other places I've been. Like it wasn't like the craziest fast internet, but it's like I had no issues compared to other places I've gone.
Okay, awesome, bro. This is great intel so far. Going on from that, bro, right? Working there, that's awesome. I want to delve more into the your experience as a Western black man. What about how the men treated you, the old people? Did you experience racism? Were you safe out there? So in terms of, do you mind breaking down racism and then safety afterwards, brother? Just those two topics in your
Yeah, so
personal experience.
racism, like I was kind of getting at earlier, they can get a little funny. It's not like I hate you, in person type stuff, but it's more like they kind of seem a little like xenophobic in general, in my opinion. But I don't. They're not really concerned about black people because it's really not enough there. I think if you were to like live there, they might kind of, like I said, depending on where you go. But yeah, for the most part, I didn't really. It's more like vibes of it. I didn't see anyone go at me directly. And then when I had vibes of it, it was like small stuff where I was like, kind of a funny situation, and that was odd. And I think the other one you said was racism. And what was the other part you wanted me to touch on?
I would say safety, brother. Were you safe as a
Safety. Yeah.
black man there?
So safety wise, I didn't really. Nah, I walked around at nighttime a lot. I didn't really find anything funny. I will say like stick to certain neighborhoods, you should be fine. I mean, they do have hoods there, so like you kind of stumble into that, they might mess with you. But honestly, if you're black there, they assume that you would probably beat them in a fight. So unless you like really look like someone they can get at, they usually just like leave you alone. Most of the time, they were more curious. I think they mimic a lot of black culture down there, believe it or not. So they kind of assume that you're going to do more to them than the other way around.
What do you mean mimic a lot of black culture? Do you mind breaking that down? Is that the men and women they want to be black?
Uh, a little bit of the women, more on the men's side. What I saw visibly, the women, yeah, I didn't see it as visibly with them. I wish I had a photo of it, but like there was a guy who had like face tattoos and stuff like that. Like he looked like a wannabe Black American rapper. Like I saw that multiple places.
Okay, break down the women in terms of how they mimic Black American culture. In what way?
The women aren't. They actually it's weird. They don't really. I don't really recall them. They're more like a European vibe. If I'm gonna be honest, they were more like kind of Italian women. They remind me more of Italian women when I would talk to them. But it was some of the guys would kind of mimic it. Like the more lower class women might a little bit, but it's like they're too far away to really understand it. So it's like it's just they mimic them from a surface level. Like I said, like tattoos and stuff like that. It's not, yeah.
Okay, awesome, bro. Awesome, awesome. So, going on from there, brother, Buenos Aires as a whole, as a city, is it safe? For Black men in Buenos Aires, is it a good spot to actually visit there, live there for a bit, work there as a Black man? And how long do you say we should stay there to get the full experience?
Everybody would vary as around whether it's I'll start with this. Safety wise, for the most part, safe. I don't really they have a lot of cops there. They have like regular police that were patrolling like these like they might marked uniforms. Then they have like a military type of police that patrol in these like all black uniforms. So essentially, like they will like definitely, if someone does some funny stuff, yeah, they definitely will do something to them. The most crime I really saw, like or I heard about when I was there, was like people's like phones getting snatched on the streets. Like if you walk with it, like if you go in like certain areas, like that happens, or people kind of trying to finesse you with the currency exchange. But that's pretty much it. It's not Colombia where it's like someone got shot up or drugged. I didn't hear none of that. I heard none of that. I heard. And as far as like should guys visit, some of your subs will like it, some of your subscribers won't like it. I will say that honestly. Like some people really will have a good time there. It's not a place I would push people more to Brazil because there's more of a black population there. Argentina is more of a try it out, sample it, and if you like it, come back. If you don't, understandable. You might want to go somewhere else because there are to me there's trade offs there. So it's like a wider part of South America, so like their interest is more geared European or in a sense, specifically like Italian, kind of German and Spain for Italian and Spain for sure. So I think could it turn into a good spot for us? I think so. I mean, they have like there's black guys I've met who stayed there. They're still there, so it's not like yeah, it just there's just different places. How do I put it? Like different places where you want to, source women from and source networking from. But it's not anything different from what the white boys do. I'm just saying, like, yeah, they're just not used to
Okay,
seeing other black guys. To keep it short.
thank you, bro. What about the cost of living? Is it cheap out there in Buenos Aires?
So this one might be. Give me like 2 minutes to explain this, like clearly. So it is cheap. Do not use your credit cards. It's like when you go down there and bring at least maybe 250 to 500, maybe Yeah, 250 to 500, maybe 1,000 if you really are aggressive in cash, euros, British pound, or USD, and then convert it when you get there. That's one route. Or what you do is you go to Western, you send yourself money via Western Union before you get there, and then go to Western Union in 2 or 3 days, and then go pick it up. Don't use credit cards in Argentina, and everything will be cheap. If you use credit cards in Argentina, like debit credit, stuff will be like giving you Costa Rica, Panama prices. But if you use the Argentinian peso, stuff is very cheap. So might want to get into that a little later because the currency thing is that's the thing that can kind of throw people off in that country.
Okay. Yeah. Let's get into that a little bit later. I think that's a very interesting topic there. Thank you, bro. But food, water, going out for lunch and dinner, uh, housing is cheap in Buenos Aires.
Everything but housing. I don't. So I stayed at a fancier hostel, so I didn't really have like a. It was cheap for me, but from the people I've met who did long term housing, it's not crazy expensive. Argentinians are just they have a to me a very like odd mindset about certain things. So some stuff, in my opinion, is like overpriced. Or like where they'll give you the deal is weird. Like they might give you a better deal for renting rather than buying a place and stuff like that. And I'd also say it depends on the neighborhood you go to, but nothing is like crazy price. It's just they do have a bad economy, so be prepared if you're trying to do stuff in housing to kind of have a little bit of a more of an increase on cost. Not anything crazy high, but just they might kind of throw an extra tax on it. As far as going out and everything like that, like going out to clubs, going out to eat, it was cheap. I don't remember spending a lot of money when I was there. So
Awesome, brother. What about transportation? What's the best way to move around? Is it Uber? Is it taxi? Is it a train or bus? And what would you recommend for brothers?
it's pretty much like a European city, so it's like pretty much akin to what you have in England. It's like gonna be like all any of the three. So they do have a subway. I will say the subway there was kind of hard for me to get on because they're so they have so much. They're so broke essentially that they don't. I guess they don't have. You know how you go to like the underground station in London, and you get a card out, like you just go there today and get one.
Yes.
They don't. You can't do that there. Like you have to go to like the black market and buy it off of somebody. It's stuff like that that's kind of strange. So the faster way to get around would be Uber and taxi. But if you want to take the underground there, it's easy. Just I would just wish you luck trying to get a Metro card.
Interesting. Okay. Um, why is it hard to get a Metro card for a foreigner or someone that's visiting there? That's a bit strange.
Not a foreigner, it's just they have a bad economy. I would recommend anyone who's listening to the stream, even including yourself, you should go online right now and look up the US dollar to Argentinian peso rate exchange. It goes up every single day. They have really bad inflation, so they have a really bad economy. So them making stuff like that just costs them. So they have it for a period of time. When it runs out, it runs out.
Okay, I see, bro. I see. Makes sense. Thank you, bro. Uh, so Uber, is that cheap out there in Buenos Aires, Argentina?
Super cheap, super cheap. The since they're, in my opinion, they're Italian descendants, are a little whiny. So some of them would whine about like random stuff, like whatever. But kind of ding my rating on Uber, but it's cheap. I think like the times I called Uber there was like $5, $7, maybe $10 at most. Like yeah, it's pretty cheap to get around. That was how I usually walked. Honestly, I would say it's a really walkable city, so you really could walk to the club. That's what a lot of people do. They don't even really take the train unless they live further out. A lot of people I saw would just walk, especially if you're in the right neighborhoods like Palermo. Just walk. You don't even need to take an Uber. And then if you really want to go across town, yeah, Uber or taxi. I think the taxis prefer for you to pay them in cash. So once again, bring money and convert it because some places them using card, they just look at that like it's a hassle. Just it's faster and easier for them to give them cash. And honestly, if you really want a good deal in certain places, I wouldn't do this in the city, but definitely leaving the airport, pay them in US dollars or euros, and they'll like love you forever.
Okay, okay. Thank you, bro. Great breakdown there overall. I'm going to come out to a few topics there that we discussed in terms of the cost of living, currency, and that's very important. I want to now move on to the women, Argentinian women. Um, are Argentinian women checking for brothers? Do they like black men out there in Buenos Aires?
Yes, I would say they're a little bit more artsier there. So depending on how you look, depends on kind of what you would get. Not like ugly women, but it's like black British kid I met who's buff, he definitely was like getting a lot. Myself, I would get checked out by a lot of them. Not anything like really aggressive like I got in Colombia, but I would have like a few odd situations where I was like, okay, yeah, I could tell you're trying to like talk to me. I would say I got checked out by some. I don't know what they're like really where they were from, but like more the browner Argentinian women who I'm assuming have like Bolivian or maybe Paraguayan or even indigenous ancestry. I would say they lean more towards checking for brothers too when they run into them. There's also a lot of other groups in Argentina. So you have like Brazilians that come in. I met a girl that was from Brazil. She was like a black Brazilian. I want to say you get some Venezuelans, like a few of them that they have their own little enclave. So yeah, this if you don't really want to mess with the Argentinian, actually, you know what I'm bugging. I talked to not Argentinian, Venezuelan woman when I was down there. Like Afro Venez, I guess you would consider some Afro Venezuelan. So yeah, yeah, like they definitely, I would say across the board, people do. It's just some of them are more aggressive and talk to you, like they'll talk back and you'll have a good time, and others are a little bit more timid. You have to kind of take them out their shell. So yeah.
That's interesting, bro, because Argentina has a very, let's say, dark history, especially how they treat their black population in terms of breeding them out. You're telling me that the white women in Argentina, because it is a majority white population, in 2023 are showing love to brothers. That's
It's in my opinion, it's weird love. It's not Brazil, Colombia. It's like a weirder type of love, which is why I said it's not really the spot where everybody would love because to me they're okay looking women, but I think they're it's just a little too much work to like get at them. I think there's a little bit more not Americanized, but they have European problems because they do think they're a European country, and I think they might have EU citizenship access. So a lot of them go to Italy to live. A lot of them go to Spain, so they'll come back and forth. Like a lot of them like still have Italian last names. So like yeah, it's yeah, if you're from the EU, you probably will feel like you're just a train ride away from home, and you'll forget like I had to take a plane to get here.
okay. What about feminism amongst Argentinian women? Is that a problem from what you saw?
It's not a problem, but it's there. I mean, I don't think they see it as a problem, but I mean, you definitely do have a lot of I ran into like good amount of gay women there, like good amount of like hardcore feminism types there. But they're cool with it. Like the country seems like that's kind of what they lean into. If you don't want that vibe, I mean, there's places you can go. It was like that crowd of women. There was other women who just like really fit feminine friendly types. So I would say it depends on where you go. Like when I would go to more hipster spots, I ran to more feminism types. When I would be in the central areas, I would see both. And then when I would go to more like certain types of bars, I would see more okay, like fit feminine friendly type of women. So it's there, but it's not. It's pretty prevalent in that society, but it's not like I would say it's worse in Brazil, but it's not. Yeah, that's the best I could put it. It's like, but it's been there for a while because Argentina's. It's like it's honestly a cousin country of Italy, Spain, and England. So yeah.
So would you say the women they're more feminist than feminine and submissive, or are they more feminine and submissive than feminist?
I would say they're probably more feminist. Like general, it's
Oh,
going to be more like varying degrees, either like very aggressive on that or more. You gotta kind of. They're not gonna say it, but I got the vibe. Like you gotta kind of like work with her to kind of get her to kind of be on your program.
oh, okay. This isn't sounding too good about Argentinian women. I'll keep it real with you, bro. Um, is Buenos Aires, right? Is it a liberal city or a conservative city? Did they have mostly conservative
Mm,
thoughts or liberal thoughts?
I would say liberal, but it is conservative to a certain degree there because they did have a dictatorship. So, I mean, I didn't really go too deep into that aspect with them, but I would say from the vibe I got, like liberal, but they did have a background of like they had like a dictatorship for like a good amount of time. So, yeah, it's like certain things gonna be conservative. There still is a conservative armor there, but I don't know if you really want to run into conservative Argentinians because they would probably want like a white ethno state, in my honest opinion. From what I saw, like I didn't run into them, but the vibe I would assume, yeah, they would probably want that to be yeah, they probably would want that to be like a you know extension, genuinely extension of Europe. So, but yeah, I would say they're liberal though, and BA pretty liberal.
Wow, Argentina looking real funny in the light right now. I'll be real with you, bro. They're looking real funny in the light, particularly the woman. I'm not liking what I'm hearing so far. So going on from there, brother, right? would you wife up an Argentinian chicken? Be real with me, brother. Would you say if you're looking for a wife, avoid Argentina? Go there, have your fun, but don't wife them up.
I would mess with them. Would I marry them? She had to really be like I would vet her. I would say like this. I would be open to it, but I would have to really vet her to make sure that she's not on some funny stuff. But I would say like they're if you went, they would check for you. Like they're not because you're not local. And I think the black guys they kind of look down on would be more like Dominican, African was kind of the vibe I got. More Dominican, maybe on the African, but if you're like from the West, I think they're more like cool with that, especially because like the culture and stuff like that. And I think as far as like long term relationships, I mean, they can kind of be. They're not the women I would expect to really stay in that because just because of the mindset they have, I think their mindset is very empowered like woman type of vibes, which it's not bad entirely, but I think they pushed it to the 18th degree where it's like out of sync. I think they have more
Or
like beta boyfriends. If you get my drift, it's more like the woman would run that, like visibly would run that guy.
let me ask this, brother. Would you say the women there they're more relationship minded, or are they that one night stand sleeping around? It's my body, my box, all that crap.
I would say from what I saw, like in general, they're relationship minded. I just think they're more like a partner. They're more like what you get in the US or Europe. They're more like my partner, not my husband. But I'm not saying like that's not all the women there. I think if you look, you'll find like your traditional ones. I just think you would have to look. But it could have been where I was at. Like I said, like I don't but going off generalities, like if someone caught a fight there today, what they would run into, depending on where kind of give you a 50-50 with that place. I would probably lean more. I would personally lean more and say you'll probably run into more feminist women, even if they kind of don't present themselves that way. The attitude's still there. Like I said, they reminded me of Italian women that I've talked to.
Okay, so let me ask this, brother. Right, out of all the races of women there, you've mentioned Bolivian, some Brazilian women there, Argentina. Right, I know it's a majority white population, but who would give us the most play as a Western black man? Is it still the white Argentinian women, or will it be the Bolivians, the Venezuelans, in your opinion?
I would say so. I don't know if they're really Bolivian, but the more browner ones, like they're not Mexico brown, but they're like brown for Argentina. They're definitely cool with the brothers. I would say a lot more of like the women I saw, like just who would be more like very, very much check would be them, and it'd be a lot of the ones that were coming from the outside the city, like the more like I think like the uh the poor vichas. That's what they call their neighborhoods. And then yeah, I would say similar to Brazil. You get a lot of those like class ones that want to pull up on black guys. I even had like an older MILF pull up on me. So
Argentinian or
hmm hmm
Argentinian white
she was like
Argentinian? Okay.
she was white
Oh,
Argentinian.
interesting, bro. Interesting. Um, so obviously I know it's a white majority country, but I'm not really like white women just aren't doing it for me right now. I'll be real with you, brothers. I'm gonna still do streams on them for you, brothers. But personally, Latina, Black woman, and East Asian women are my sweet spot right now. That's who I'm really gunning for. White women have gone all the way to the bottom. Recent years, the attitude, the way the whole culture. I'm just not feeling white women at the moment. They don't do it for me, and that includes white Argentinian women. So if I go to Argentina, I'll be definitely checking for the Bolivian, Venezuelan, and the brown-skinned Latinas there. That's what I'm looking for right now. Um, okay, let me ask this, brother. Where were the best spots in Buenos Aires, Argentina, to meet respectable women there, brother?
I would say neighborhood wise, I would say go to Palermo and then you just find a spot. Like I'm not really gonna give specifics on this stream because I know someone's like, "Oh, I didn't went there." Just go to Palermo. Like go there and just walk. It's like you'll find like restaurants, bars, ice. They love ice cream there. Like you'll find them just anywhere and everywhere. There's a specific part in Palermo I used to hang around. What is it? San Telmo Park, if I'm not mistaken. There's a park. It's not really a park. It's like a square. It's like full of clubs and stuff like that. That's a good spot. You'll meet like a lot of different types, but that's kind of more your average like porteña, like that's what they call themselves, like porteños or porteñas. That's where you'll meet them. And then if you want like more classy, just look for a nice bar, and then you'll find them. A lot of people like they're like what is it under no, is it no uptown bar, which is like a New York City vibe. That bar is okay. I think you can meet women there for sure. But I would say like in general, just anywhere in Palermo, you'll meet women.
Okay. How do I spell that part, please, bro? How do you spell it, please?
You spelled it properly. Palermo.
Oh, so the part in Palermo. Okay, I see. Okay. Thank you, bro. Um, Interesting. Okay. Going on from there, brother, would you say Argentinian women have a high body count or a low body count? And can we find virgin women, early 20s in Argentina? Or are they sleeping around? And be real with me, brother.
I would say, to start to end, nah. I don't think you would find virgin chicks there, but I do think you would get the body count stuff. I don't know. I didn't really think I got that deep with a lot of those women where like I could really pick up a vibe. It seemed like normal, like kind of like some were higher, some were lower. Some would be more freaky. Like some I could tell when I would talk to them, like you're like really with the stuff. Others are more like I said, shy, reserved. So kind of what you would get in Colombia. You're gonna run into some that are like really out there. They want to meet a foreigner. They want to get down. And there's others where it's like, they kind of keep to themselves. I will say that's not really what I would worry about. If I'm being honest, is the body count in that country. I would say I would worry about what's her relationship with men in general, because some of the women there seem like they would be turned off, like they kind of got wronged by a man or something went wrong there, in my honest opinion, and then they would just switch over to just dating nothing but women. I ran into more
Whoa.
that than I
What?
did. Yeah.
What? That's what it seemed for me, bro. I'll be real with you, man. Obviously, I don't want to speak too much on that particular community, but if the
Mm.
women are acting like that, I don't know about that, bro. They're looking real suspects right now. These
I will
virgins
say the
women.
women there are fun. I'm probably like focusing too much on the negative. It's just this stuff. It's like they were okay to me. I'm not what I wasn't like OMG, but I didn't go. Let me be honest with you. I didn't go there for the women. I went there more like to check out what this guy said, and then I saw from there. Okay, like yeah, this I can see why this would appeal to certain people. Because the women there to me, this better. If you're gonna go there for women, I would say. I mean, if you want to, sure, but there's better places to go where the women I think are more attractive and more down to just go with you with whatever you're on.
All right, brother. So let me ask this right. Tell me the positives about Argentinian women, the good things about them, and then tell me after that the bad things about Argentinian women, in your opinion.
I mean, I'll say they're friendly. I think a lot of them do. They can flirt. They got a little swag about them. I do think they're freaky in bed. On the lowest of keys. Some people pick that up, some people don't. Um, I think they're very curious about black men. So I think if you come down there on some good stuff, like they definitely will, I think give you some type of play. Especially if you have like your style's on point, you got good body game, whatever. Like they'll find you charming and attractive, and maybe even sexy, and go from there. Like they definitely will like you to pull up on them. I would say as far as cons, I think the women, like I said, can be a little bit too heavy on the feminist hand. Just my personal opinion. I did run into a lot of situations where I think the guys came off like they were kind of jealous. So it's not really a women thing, but I just didn't like that in general. Like the guys come off like you see your girlfriend or girl you're interested in checking me out, and you're mad that you can't pull her. Um, so that was something I didn't really like in that society, and just in general, I just thought it was kind of lame. Um, yeah, I would say the biggest really L to me was just like, yeah, some of them just seem too caught up on like left leaning politics and like strong handed feminism for my taste. But I will also say that other people could have gone and not ran into that at all. It could have just been where I was at.
Okay, thank you, brother. Can you break down the nightlife scene in Argentina? And I got several questions there. So, how is the nightlife there? Okay. Also, what clubs and bars do you recommend us to go to? And what kind of women would we meet there in the nightlife? Is it
Mhm.
streetwalkers? Is it wifey material? Break it down.
So I only went out like a couple times there because I was only there for like I said, like half a month. Because most of the stuff happens on the weekend. So a lot of the stuff I thought would be Monday and Tuesday, like just pretty much throughout the whole week. like it is in a lot of other Latin American countries. Like you can find a party pretty much every night if you want to. There, for some reason, I could not because when I looked for it on a Monday and Tuesday, a lot of clubs were closed, so I had to wait till the next weekend. But when they do open up, like I want to say it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday for sure. Like they're like very very lit, very 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 lit. You have a lot of different vibes. A lot of the clubs I would run into are more like techno, EDM type of music. Um, they're into Afro beats. There's a few Afro beats clubs I've like run into since I left. Like people just passed along my way. Um, and then I'm trying to think. So bars, I could talk more about that. So the bars, because I was that was more what I had like immediately right in my neighborhood. Rooftop bars, I would say, is like the best place to meet people at. So when I would talk to people, think yeah, they probably thought I didn't go out. I did go out. I would go to a lot of times rooftop bars. Rooftop bars, I would say, was good. Just bars in general. There, I think go out and you'll meet a good amount of women there. To me, that was where more the Argentinian women would hang out, especially if you want more like their version of classy women. Like they would be in bars more often than not, and they would also like to dress up when they would go. Not anything crazy, but it is a fashion sensitive city, so I like similar to New York. So I was like, just make sure we're business casual or something that looks stylish, and you're pretty much good to go. They have a lot of different bars of different tastes. So if you want more hipster, you have that. If you want more, I don't know, college vibes, you got that. If you want like dress up business casual, they have a lot of those. I think a few I liked was the JW bar. I think that's in Palermo. Where else did I go? Uptown was a pretty decent bar, and then a lot of them I really don't remember the exact names. I'll just say like once again, like Palermo would have most of what you're looking for because I went in their summertime, so I would just walk into places, order food, or I'd walk into a place, get a drink, talk to people and stuff like that.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, bro. So I'm gonna open up the phone lines in five minutes, 10 minutes time. Hold on, bro. Shout out to Mr. KW Leaves America for the $4.99 super channel support. Thank you, brother, for the support. Much appreciation, bro. What up, IP? What up, bro? Been a minute. Musashi Buri. The women I dealt with in Argentina were fit, feminine, and cooperative. It's one of my favorite countries out of 40 plus I've been to. Interesting, but I've never even been to Argentina, bro. Did we do a stream in the past, KW? Damn, okay. If you're saying they're fit, feminine, cooperative, that's interesting, bro. Because right now, Argentina is on my red list. I have no interest in the woman after hearing what the brother told me right now. You know, they're switching sides. They're on this feminist vibe. I don't want a woman like that in my life. I don't, man. I'm a very traditional man, and I want a traditional woman. So I can't be dealing with liberal women who are not well mentally. You know, I can't do that, bro. So awesome, bro. So give me a verdict, brother. Should a black man go there? Okay. So let me tell you the essential black man, right? Okay. So that would be he's a passport bro. He works in IT. Okay. Um, Interested in foreign women. Okay. Um, Wants great weather, and please touch upon the weather, please, brother. How's the weather out there in Argentina? Should a black man go there for that reason, or are there better spots in your opinion, brother?
It's like I said, if it's not a spot, I didn't go there for the shorties. So like I saw them, I talked to some, but I wasn't like I coming down there from Colombia. I was just like, I'm not. I wasn't like I'm not gonna really chase y'all around like this. That's how I felt. Maybe that's my ego there. So I would say for me, like if someone asked me Javi Viajero, I would say go there to focus on your craft. If you need to stay somewhere and like learn to React for 3 months, it's a good place to do that. You could probably learn React. You'll hit the club on the weekends. You'll stay ambitious and focused. They probably have a community for React developers there. You'll be good to go. You want to go there and network with some other people and learn about South American banking. Good place to go. The women there are fine. I don't think they're like the end of the world terrible. I think you can work with them. I just don't think that's the type of women I would lean towards and say go date them. To be honest, um, I think I would say if you're a white collar guy, great place to go. If you're more of like a blue collar guy, it could be fun. I just don't. I don't know. It's just a different. It's not Brazil where it's gonna be just everyone have a good time. I mean, they do party, but I'm just saying. I think there's a developed country. I'll be honest. Like them in Chile are developed countries, so I think those people to me come off when I have approached them or talked to them, whether it be flirtatious conversation or just platonic. they come off in a way to me where they're looking for I don't know, like it has like that, I don't know, like professional energy behind it, like a I'm looking in some scenarios of like I'm looking for this person to have like a a title of some sort or a good job, quote unquote, in some sort. So I think, like I said before, in general, it's just going to depend. I don't really recommend Argentina for everybody because one, it's a long flight, and two, there's other places to go that are like a lot closer where it's like you're bona fide to have a good time. The place is fun, but this place also can kind of be like it can be funny style. Some of the people, it's just me, it's just like not bad, but it's just yeah, it's not. To me, it wasn't. It's a good solid 7 to 8 out of 10, but yeah, I think there's definitely like stuff that they don't cater towards us on. Just being honest.
How is the weather out there in Buenos Aires?
Yeah, so weather that can be a little tricky. So I would tell someone do not go in November, December because it's really going to be hot, unless you really like 90-degree days with high humidity. Um, like it gets really like they have like blackouts there because everyone's running their AC, so it's hot. Like in this, there's summertime, which is North American, Europe wintertime. It gets really really hot. If you go in the spring, which is like July, August, probably like, yeah, July, August, and September for sure, and a little bit of October. Good weather. You can wear layers. You can kind of do your thing. And if you want to go in the wintertime, that is like right now is wintertime for them. So you can, if you want to go there and kind of experience the cold, it's not like really cold. It's like 40, 50 degrees, and you can do that. So they pretty much have like their version of four seasons. It's not entirely the same, but it's similar. It's kind of similar. I haven't been. I would guess it's maybe similar to South Africa, like specifically Cape Town, but I could be
Aw-
wrong. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. And last question, if I open up the phone lines. Currency. So break down the currency game. So a brother is planning to go to Argentina. Does he convert his dollars into uh, Argentinian pesos in the US and takes it cash over there and avoid using his card? What do we do there, brother? Break it down.
There's you could do that if you want to do that ahead of time. I never really heard anyone do that. I mean, it might work out for you. I would say when I go back, I'll probably pull the money out in USD, bring the USD cash down there, and then either convert it on the streets. They have a street called I think it's Florida Street, and they have I can't remember their name. I want to call them like there's some name for the guys, and they call it like cambio, cambio, cambio. You can go to them, you can get exchange rate on the street. Usually, the cambio dudes, they say they have a better exchange rate than the Western Union. Sometimes they do, but honestly, they could be on some funny stuff at times as well. I never really used any of them just because of that. Like I'd heard people say like, "Hey, they're kind of funny." Then if you get a hookup, which I got, you can go through. I don't have the guy's number anymore, but you can go through the Israelis. The Israelis do their own like money exchange, and they'll actually come to where you live. So you just give them the address, and they'll just like literally drive to where you are, and then exchange the money in front of your face. That's the second route, and then the third route is you can go to the Western Union, like Western Union yourself the money, and then go from there.
Okay. And you're saying don't use your credit card or debit card there. Can you explain a bit more? Because obviously we're living in a digitized world. We use our card for
Mhm.
everything. Why should we avoid using our card in Argentina?
So you'll pay the official rate. So the official rate is like it's kind of like fake. The official rate is more expensive. So instead of paying $40 for something, so the official rate will say, okay, like this is worth $40, like based on the currency exchange rate. If you pay with cash, you're only really spending $20 because your money like multiplies a lot in Argentina. So you're still matching the pesos they need, but you're actually paying less. Um, in US if that makes sense. So I'm saying like with cash because it's going off a different exchange rate. When you exchange your cash there, you're getting like a better exchange rate. So therefore you're paying a lot less on stuff versus the card. It's going off a different exchange rate. It's kind of confusing. That's the I don't know. Maybe some of your check can explain it better. They can come up and explain it, but that's how I was explained to me. And that's literally what I saw. Like I paid something one time it was $400. I came back with cash. It was $200.
What's going on there? I'm gonna give it a pass, bro. Personally, so we got currency problems there. We have
It has
women
a really
problems
bad
out there.
economy.
I'm gonna give
It
it
has
a
a really
pass
bad
personally,
economy.
bro.
There's one
So
thing I want to mention that is actually
mhm.
true game. I forgot to mention about meeting women there. It's just this is like a FYI to all your subs. If you really want to bag a Argentinian woman or any traveler that's coming through, language exchanges. I know they're popular in Medellin, but it's like they sometimes can be sausage fest. But in Buenos Aires, That's the women who really want to talk to you and they're like down to talk to a black guy more than often than not, or at least open to it, are at the Duo Mundo language exchange. I don't know why I'm forgetting the name. It's just been a while since I've like had that conversation, but Duo Mundo, I forgot where it's at. I want to say it's either in Palermo or they have like two. They have one like on a Thursday and they have one on a Tuesday, I want to say. And they're in two different locations. But look up Duo Mundo language exchange. That's the place to like, that's where you like, if you go enough times, you're definitely bound to meet a woman. Like, that's better than the club to me. That was like easy. I mean, the clubs are straight. And like cafes, another place, the cafes are a really good place as well. That's actually where I bagged more. Like, I would get more attention and more attraction just at the cafes over the clubs. But yeah, like that, those were underrated. Duolingo, Duomundo, language exchange, cafes, and then bars and clubs in that order.
Okay, okay, brother. That's interesting. That's interesting. Do you mind breaking down the cafe game? So do you cold approach women there in the cafe, or do they cold approach you? Break it down for us.
They'll just give you choosing signals. Like, that was what happened when I had one of the Bolivian, or she looked Bolivian to me, like minority looking women pull up. Like, it was walked in, it just gave me choosing signals from jump. We tried it for a bit. Even the other times I would chat with the workers at the cafes and stuff like that, and they would talk. Um, so yeah, I mean, a lot of times at the cafes, if you go enough times, I mean, they'll see you, so they'll expect that you're there long enough. And there's different cafes with different vibes. You have your Starbucks, that's your traditional stuff, and then you have a lot of like local cafes. Like, I really don't remember I have to go back into my notes to remember the names of them. Um, I want to say one was like Hacienda Cafe. That was a good one. And then there was a few. Most of them, like I said before, they're most everywhere I'm talking about is really in one area, Palermo. And then if you really want to venture out, go to Recoleta, or if you speak better Spanish, go to Villa Crespa. Um, those three neighborhoods are pretty much where you need to stay at. Like, you can go downtown if you want to. I didn't really see that much there, and the women that I was not impressed by. But those three neighborhoods usually gave me various degrees. Not too much variance, but pretty
Do me
much.
a favor, brother.
Yeah,
Can
what's
you
up
type that in
in the
the
chat?
private chat, please, brother? Yes.
Yeah, I can put
All
that
those
in.
places. So while you do that, brother, I want to ask you more about choosing signals. So what kind of choosing signals do Argentinian women give you if they're interested in you? Is it the eye contact? Is it looking at you, looking away? Looking at you, looking away? Do you mind breaking that down for us, please?
From my experience, it's just like traditional. Like, they would look at me. Some would try to sit next to me, and like some like awkward. I had happened once or twice. I'm trying to remember what else because it's been a minute. Yeah, most of the time I want to say was looking. They might have talked, like, try to do small talk. They would ask me like where I was from. That happened occasionally, but I would say the vast majority that sticks out was mostly like look, and then maybe small talk associated with it, like where are you from, blah blah blah. Then sometimes it'd be in Spanish. I mean, I speak Spanish, so we would usually speak in Spanish. Then we would switch over to English if I didn't know how to say something, or if I didn't understand, because they do speak a little bit of a different type of Spanish than I'm used to. So there's some stuff I was like, I don't exactly follow what you're saying. Um, but yeah, that would say most of the time it was like small talky stuff, and then it would just kind of go from there. They're pretty open to talk. Like, they're not bad women. I'm just saying they're not out of the whole options. Yeah, they're just like, I think there's better places to go, or better places
Okay.
to do more with it.
So let me ask this, bro. So cold approaching, is it acceptable to cold approach women in Buenos Aires, Argentina?
For the most part, I didn't really. As you're since you're a foreigner, I don't. None of them really were like against it. Like, there were times where I would see them like check me out and then pretend like they weren't and like walk by. I thought it was kind of funny. That's tradition. It's just like it has big city vibes, so I think people are a little bit more guarded in my experience there. But like, once you kind of can crack that barrier, that they're cool with that, and as long as you know how to, like, you honestly, you're a foreigner, you could just say like, "Hey, I'm looking for XYZ." They'll talk. Some might talk to you more, some might talk to you less, but they're, for the most part, the women, they were pretty friendly. Like, and then I'm gonna be honest, like, if I can't stress it enough, they genuinely don't see a lot of black guys. Like, I remember my first day there, I went to like a shopping center, and like a family, it was mostly just women, just turned around, just like stared at me, like just sitting down, chilling, watching a soccer game. And they were just like, it's amazement, but also like, where did he come from? Like, so yeah, they just don't see. They're used to seeing white boys down there. That's the honest truth. And the white boys even aren't that deep down there because they mix in, and two, it's a long flight.
Were
So
you, sorry, brother,
mhm.
were you cold approached uh, by a woman there in Argentina, by a woman of you?
You said, was I approached by cold
Yeah,
approached
were
by?
you cold approached for like romantic interest by a Argentinian woman?
Yeah, they would be curious. I mean, there was different women that would, like I said, it wouldn't be like they would come up to me on the street per se, but it would be like I'm
Okay.
somewhere and then, they sat down, we started a little small chat conversation. I think when I met the MILF lady that was at the mall, like I walked into this like Italian restaurant. That was more of like a stare, and she kind of just said some stuff and we kind of chopped it up from there. Um Mostly it was like small talk stuff. I think like I went to like a chicken spot. I don't know if she was like actually Argentinian, but she lived there. She like talking about chicken in the US and the conversation, that was how she opened it, I should say. And the conversation went from there. Because a lot of times they are curious, like I said before. So I hope I'm being clear or not contradictory or whatever. Like they do code approach. I had more where they would just stare and I would have to go talk to them like other places. But yeah. Um they're
Let me
open to
ask you.
talk to you. Mhm.
Okay. So how do you cold approach an Argentinian chick? Do you go up to her and say, "Hey, you're beautiful. What's your number?" Are you that forward, or is it a coffee date tomorrow? If you're for coffee, I like you. I find you attractive. Are you direct or indirect? How do you cold approach an Argentinian woman?
How did I do it? Kind of depended. Some of them I would just do a lot of small talk and kind of feel it out. So I'd ask like, general questions like, do you know where this stuff? Because there was some stuff I just generally just didn't know where it was. So I see them staring, or I see them do some like, okay, like this must be a choosing signal. I'll test it out and then see where it went. So a lot of times I'd ask them like, directions for stuff, or do you have recommendations on where I should eat here and stuff like that. Or I'd ask them like, hey, do you know where like I had to look for money exchange for a while, so a lot of time for like I think the first couple of days, like maybe the first 5 days, I was like me. That was how I was meeting a lot of people. Was just asking, I'm looking for a money exchange. You know where I can find it at. I wasn't really like there on some like you're cute because honestly, a lot of women there were like they were okay. That wasn't like it wasn't how I was in Brazil or Colombia where I was like I was pulling up heavy over there. Whereas in Argentina, it was more like I don't know. I was just kind of like, all right, cool. Like, similar to what I see in the States, with attitude, size at times, and just how they look. But most of the time I was just doing indirect. But I think if you were to do direct, I don't think the women they really would be against it because once again, you're not from there. And I would just say probably do it in English and they're gonna go, okay, he's not from here, and then boom, 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 they'll go from there. I think as far as like the granular details around that type of stuff, like I don't see them really being against it. Like I never got that impression unless you go for like a really whacked out woman. They do exist there, but I don't see why you would want to pull up on those type of women.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. All right, brothers, I'm going to open up the phone lines in a bit. If you have any questions, you must call in or you must PayPal or super chat your questions, okay? PayPal or super chat your questions. Shout out to Mr. Romel Diaz for the £5 super chat. Thank you, Romel. Appreciate you both for the support. Hope you're keeping well. Argentina sounds more like white man heaven, but I try to keep an open mind. As a man who loves to travel, I won't rule it out. Yes, indeed, I agree, bro. I agree. It's very low on my list. I'm not liking my hair so far. There are some spots that are great for black men, for white men, etc., etc. Uh, I'd rather go to the spots that are great for black men, in my opinion. Appreciate you, Ramel. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Mr. J Bones in the building. Welcome back, J Bones. Been a minute, brother. Hope you're keeping well and safe. For the $2 super chat, take dollars there, exchange in Argentina, more cash. Okay. Thank you for that feedback there, J Bones. I appreciate you, brother. Welcome back, brother. Awesome, awesome. So I'm gonna open up the phone lines. I've got two more questions here for you, bro. Online dating in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Did you use it at all?
I did. I really don't. It probably sounds like I really didn't go because I was there for
What
like
did you use? Sorry, bro. Was it Tinder? I'm guessing.
yeah. No, I used that. I want to say I might have used Hinge. I might have used Bumble. It was mostly Tinder though. I think that yeah. Like hope it doesn't sound like I didn't go. I was there. Just I don't. I think it was mostly Tinder. It wasn't eventful. I know that because I just don't remember a lot of it. It was they're more
Okay.
like face to face. To be honest, that was where I got more play.
So you got more play in person. So you would advise brothers to actually cold approach instead of using Tinder.
Yeah, you could use Tinder there, but yeah, cold approach there, especially if you like have a certain look to you, whether it be muscles or fashion, that will get you, in my experience, like that was more beneficial. Like online there was like, yeah, they just would get really weird, like how long you here for, they would get really funny, and then they would just flake a lot. It was like very strange. Like, yeah, they would flake. Flake and it would flake to go hang out with probably some lame dude. Because a lot of the Argentinian dudes, to be honest, are like they kind of blue pill. So it's like the competition ain't really that steep. That's what I'm saying. Like, I hope it doesn't sound like he ain't. I have a lot of photos and whatnot to show people how well I was really much there, but it was just like the dynamics are kind of funny. So like most of Latin American countries I've gone to, outside of maybe Colombia's the only one that's active online, but you know that kind of can be a funny game in of itself. But yeah, most of them is you got to go campaign in person, especially if you're looking for a younger crowd. I would say if you're an older guy and you want maybe like a 35 plus woman, yeah, you could probably do it online there. If that's really what you want. But if you want like prime age stuff, nah, I would say you probably gotta go. You don't even have to hit a club. You just gotta go out. Like you gotta go out to like a park. Like a lot of people hang out in parks after work, so you could cold approach in a park. I actually didn't do that, but because it wasn't. You know, think about it, it was the park I actually would see a lot of them in was not near my hostel, but parks are a big spot. Cafes, that's where I would hang out because that's my neighborhood. And then I would say the bars, cafes and bars are like my two best spots. And then the clubs were pretty good. The clubs, you know, they're loud, but yeah, they're those are pretty like they're so much better than meeting women there, and they can get a feel for you because the Argentinian women to me seem timid. They're not. I wouldn't come there on some like what's good mod. Like that's just they're not gonna. They're gonna be like, oh, they're just yeah, they're timid to me.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Did you come across wealthy Argentinian women, and did they like black men at all?
Yeah, I would say all of them do. The poor ones, um, the wealthy ones, like the MILF lady had to have money. Like I'm pretty sure she had money. I don't know if they're like wealthy there is a little different because in US dollars, making like 40K there is like Kevin Samuels high value energy. That's how they would talk about it. But yeah, they're like they're all into black because they just don't see him a lot. So you, especially like I said, if you have something to look about, you better play to your strengths. If you go to Argentina. So if you got good muscles, good shoulders, show that off. You got good fashion, show that off. You're funny. Try to learn some jokes in Spanish. Like they're gonna give you type of play. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna guarantee you that you're gonna walk away with like the most ladies in that country because they still do prefer their blancos, their little white guys. But yeah, they I think overall like they definitely were receptive to black men across the class spectrum.
Awesome, bro. So I've got a PayPal donation for you, brother. Sorry, a PayPal donation question.
Hmm.
Shout out to Jabari for the £2.31 PayPal donation. Thank you, bro. And brothers, please feel free to also hit the PayPal. YouTube takes a 45% cut of each and every super chat. That's quite a lot. So PayPal doesn't do that. So to support me fully, consider supporting via the PayPal. That'd be greatly appreciated. I hear Argentina has some overt racism, but their inflation has exploded. How has the economy affected dating as an American black man with a good job? That's a question to you, bro.
I mean, I would say your dates will be cheaper. Like, I don't really. I wasn't there. I'm gonna go back. So when I go back, I'm probably gonna stay there for a lot longer. So I will be able to see like the city like in its full. I didn't see it really affect their dating. Like I don't I think the Argentinians they have a European mindset. Like they're cousin countries of Italy. They were built up by the British. A lot of them also have Spanish ancestry, so they still have an ego there. It's not Venezuela where they're like, help me out. Um, I don't think the women there are down bad. I don't think it the economics to me didn't really I don't know, I just wasn't there long enough to really see that. I think overall, like I saw when economics affect like looking for a Metro card or how much money was spent on certain things or like when did they run out of this item at the store? Did they not have this item? So I would say I saw it more in that. The only place I suspected it affected, but they don't show it is prostitution. Prostitution is
Oh,
illegal
hold on,
there.
bro, hold on, bro, hold on,
Mhm.
bro. Make sure you keep it
Uh,
PG, bro.
uh,
So code it. So streetwalkers, and don't go
streetwalk
too deep into it, bro.
streetwalkers. All right, it's my first strike tonight. Streetwalkers. Uh, I didn't. I think I saw like one lady who was a streetwalker, but it's illegal there. You can't really have it. So if you did come there looking for that, you're not really gonna. You can find it, but you got to look. But I'm saying I suspect more women on the low dabble in that. But it's similar to what you get in the states. It's a developed country. They're just further along in like their decay. So I think if you came there and you want to trick on a woman, you want to kind of spend, not even on pay to play, but just you want to spend cash, I think they would let you. But personally, from my point of view, I didn't really see it affect the dating like on level 10 because I think their economy's bad, but they're like in like some weird like either they're optimistic or they just think like they're just gonna live with it and figure it out.
Okay. Thank you, bro. And last question before I open up the phone lines. Shout out to my incredible mod, Mr. John Thomas, for the £3 PayPal donation. Appreciate you, John. IP, can you ask a guest, compared to living in his US city, how much less was the cost of living for a month in Buenos Aires?
Yeah, I wasn't there for a whole month, but I would say for a while I was there. It was cheap. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't Colombia prices, but it was cheap. It wasn't Costa. It was nowhere near Costa Rica. So I would say like a meal would cost you maybe like I gotta really run those numbers. If you pay with your card, it might be like $20, maybe 25. If you pay with cash, it'd probably be like 10, 15. You can get steaks there for like 40 USD, and if these are pretty good steaks if you pay with cash. Um, yeah, eating out was like not really crazy expensive. I don't really remember ever breaking the bank. Yeah, everything there was like reasonably priced. Like it wasn't like the only thing I would say like don't go there to buy, and this is just relates to like luxury items. Don't go there to buy like high fashion like Louis Vuitton, Burberry. Like that stuff is way overpriced there because they double the rate. And then don't go there to buy sneakers or technology because they also double how much it costs because of the inflation. But everything
Okay.
else, like yeah, clothing, I just wouldn't do there. Like I would say go to Colombia for that. But like if you just want like food, it's really good. It's like I said before, it's a good place to chill, work out, focus on your job, get your life together. Uh, the women can be hit or miss depending on the guy, but the rest of the stuff there, like yeah, like some of the stuff people do in Medellin, that because had just literally came from there, I wouldn't really do it in Buenos Aires because it's going to be cost you too much, or it's like kind of pointless. But the clubbing stuff is good, the rest of the stuff is good, but yeah, the economy is just trash. So yeah, hope I'm answering that question pretty clearly. But yeah,
All right. Thank you,
crazy
bro.
stuff.
Thank you, Javi. Much appreciation, bro. All right, so brothers, feel free to call in. If you can't call in, please hit the PayPal and super chats for your questions. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, and support the movement, support the channel. You're getting another intel here that you won't get anywhere else. Okay, and make sure you consider joining the Patreon as well for additional intel on Argentinian women, how to get down in the bedroom, etc., etc. Only for the Patreon members.
I would say
Yeah.
just real
Hold on,
quick.
bro.
Okay.
Okay, come one second, bro. 1 second. Shout out to Mr. J Bones for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you both for the support again. J Bones in the building. Welcome back, bro. Economy won't change them. Argentina is prideful. Interesting. Okay, thank you for that notice there, J Bones. Interesting. What was that, Javi?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna speak on his. That's pretty much what I saw. Like, it's not they're pretty much just broke white people. So, like, they're still white in a continent that's not white, especially with neighbors that are visibly not white outside of Chile and Uruguay. So, if you're looking for like, it's just not it. Argentina to me is like where the U.S. could go. They're really like where the U.S. could go economically. Number one, number two, they're like not a wealthier. They're more like if Venezuela actually had got bailed out, that's what Argentina is. Like Argentina is definitely dead broke, but they get bailed out by the U.S. and low key they kind of get some assistance, not financially, but some infrastructure assistance from China. China definitely has a good footprint there on the low. So yeah, if you're looking for like, I'm just saying like if you're expecting them to be more like that, I don't know, BGS coffee girl type of thing, they're not that. They're not like these like save me Western man. Nah, it's not even like the spot where I would say passport broed up with the women because they're just it's Western. It's just it's literally like a European country in South America. So that's just my viewpoint.
Interesting. You say Chinese. So breaking off me, I'm guessing that a lot of Chinese people are there making great money economically, and Chinese women out there, were they checking for you?
Chinese grandmas. I did not see young Chinese. I saw more younger Chinese women in Costa Rica. Didn't see them in Argentina. If I saw them, I'll be honest. I just like they were like a blur, like because most of them are like shop owners. I think they're Chinese that left China either like in the early parts, like in the 1800s, or I think they left China maybe after the communism took over. They're there, but I'm just saying like they're kind of off in their own world. Like they're not really checking for you. They kind of live in their own. They're kind of siloed off. I don't even think the Argentinians fully claim them as Argentinian, to be honest. That's just the impression I got because the Argentinian viewpoint is like, yo, we're a white country. Um, But I would say the Chinese. I'm saying the Chinese are there government to government wise, like geopolitically, they're building them like a new power plant because they have power issues in Buenos Aires, and I think they might have it in some other cities as well. But as far as like on the ground, most of who you're gonna see is white, and then you'll see like different types of white people: preppy, neglected, artsy, goth, depressing, happy, mad. Some races, most not, and just kind of in their own little bubble. And yeah, like I said, they're all gonna because they're curious about you. They're all gonna check on you. So it's kind of just up to you to kind of just make yourself available and talk to them, and you'll go from there. And then you get, like I said, if you don't really want to talk to the Argentinian women, fine. Like they have a good amount of Brazilians there, and then you get a good amount of like other people from neighboring countries like Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, and I think some Venezuelans and even Dominicans and stuff like. There's a pretty solid Dominican population there.
Side note, out of topic. How did the Chinese women treat you in Costa Rica? Or were they checking for you?
Yeah, I saw a few of them. They were like there was like one younger one. He
Were
really
they
didn't
checking for you
chat.
though,
I
bro?
just Nah, like they weren't like ignoring it, just normal, like just casual. Just I saw her, I thought she was Chinese. I actually thought she was American and she was speaking full Spanish. It's not like a plethora of them in Costa Rica, but I was mostly in San Jose. That's why I was like, I don't have much to say on Costa Rica because I did go to the
That, that,
beach, but I didn't
that's
spend
cool,
that
bro.
much time there.
That's cool, bro. Hey, thank you, Javi. Thank you, Javi. All right, so brothers, feel free to call in if you have any questions for Javi. If you can't call in, please make sure you hit your question on a PayPal or super chat. Okay, and I'll definitely continue supporting the channel. Before I end it, show some love from what I'm doing. A lot of hard work and time is going into this channel to get you brothers out there to save brothers. So support. That'd be
Could
greatly
I
appreciated.
share with you some stuff in the back chat if you want to share your screen or something so you could show them?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Okay.
I ain't gonna share my screen. I've got too many things open. You
Uh,
wanna share your screen, bro?
yeah. I mean, if I can.
Yeah, yes, you can. What do you want to share, bro?
Just some like basics. I mean, honest. Yeah. I mean, I would just. Nah. I was just gonna walk through some of the stuff, but I mean, it's in the PDF. But I would just
All right,
stay
send me
order.
send me the PDF when once you're done.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I
I
can
share
send
with
that after this
brothers.
call. But
Okay.
yeah, the overall just this call, like or this stream, I would say tell people like I can give you kind of what I did, but like honestly, just go to Buenos Aires. It's like New York. Like you just go to Palermo, go to Villa Crespa if you speak decent Spanish, or go to Recoleta. Those three would get you straight. Like if you don't have a good time in those three neighborhoods, it's probably just not the city for you. Like there's some other stuff where other YouTubers have gone. Like you have your Ace Live, went through Buenos Aires, he went to some of those Dominican spots. You kind of got to look for those, and you probably gonna have to speak Spanish to like find where those are. There is like a little Dominican town, or a little Dominican villa, as they call their barrios, villas. But yeah, it's pretty much like Palermo's the number one spot you want to be at, and then you'll find your way from there.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. All right, brothers. I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes. 2 minutes. If none of you are calling in 2 minutes, I'm gonna end the stream early. I'm all about quality, not quantity. Okay, so if you ain't calling in, I'm gonna end it early and go to bed and have a great sleep. Okay, so if you have any questions for our guests, call in. If you can't call in, hit your question on the super chat or PayPal. So, brothers who are new, make sure if you have any questions, you got to hit it through uh, super chats and PayPal. Those are the rules for the channel. Okay, fantastic. So, Mr. KW, you're confirmed. Thank you, bro. Let me bring in Mr. KW. Welcome back, brother. Give me a second, brother. So KW leaves America. Welcome back. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, IP? How you doing, big bro?
It's been a minute, bro. It's been a minute, brother. I hope you're keeping well.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Glad that I caught you tonight. Had to call in. I'm a little heartbroken because Argentina's one of my favorite countries, and it sounds like my experience was kind of like a lot different from the brother that's the guest tonight. So I mean, I'm sorry that we had different experiences, but because I have only like a lot of good things to say about Argentina.
I didn't hate it. I'm going back. Like, so it's not like if I hated it, I wouldn't have gone back. Nah, I mean I just saw it as I didn't go there. Like when people, I even told RP, I was like, I did this. Yeah, like the women were not. I saw them, I interact with some of them, but that wasn't my selling point. It came to me from group, and they were like, "This is next Medellin." So I said, "Hey, let's see if it's truly is the next Medellin." And I could see some aspects of it being that. Um, and there was some stuff I found that I liked. So I mean, that's why I wasn't there long enough to like really embed myself all the way to say, okay, like bona fide 100%, this is the vibe it is, this is the vibe it isn't. It's just there was some generalities I kind of picked up when I was there, which is some of the stuff you might agree with, like the neighborhoods, the European style. Some of the women I think were a little harder to crack than I ran into with the whole, you're a traveler, I'm not gonna kick it that much.
Yep. You did hit on some good stuff. One of the things that you just touched on, that was one thing that I had that I dealt with also. That it's like if you're visiting, it's like but if you live there, then they're like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like let's hang out, let's do X, Y, and Z. And IP, we actually did do the Argentina stream like a year ago. And one of the things that I said, and the brother kind of touched on here. If you are looking for, I guess like if you're just focused on solely just women, then there are other places that you can go, like Colombia, Brazil, like places like that. But my whole thing with Argentina is you can get good quality women, but also like for me, I think it's more like the safety, and that it's like an actual place that you would want to like stick around long term, especially if you do like learn the language.
You can walk around with your phone out.
Yeah, exactly. I was walking around at like 3 a.m. like with no care in sight. But but when I was in Brazil, I was looking both ways walking around doing that.
I would say Argentina. That's why I would say, like I said this to white guys, I was like, this is probably gonna be your spot. Like this is gonna be your Colombia. There's cheap white women, they rock with y'all, they still want the white jeans. But there's definitely white women there who are like, these white boys don't got the swag, they a little weird. I'm down for the brothers. I'm not saying like, but I'm just saying like I don't know what the numbers split, but it was definitely, to me, it seemed a little bit more lean on the white side. But there's definitely a really good secondary group of women who are like, I like black men, and they're not whacked out women, they're normal chicks. Some of them were normal. Some a little strange across the board, but some of them were normal. But it's definitely like a city. Especially for someone who's looking for, I've never left the country, or I've never gone to Latin America, and I went to Europe a lot. This is a good place to start. Like I wouldn't really recommend someone to start in Medellin. This would be the place to start because Medellin is a little too hot nowadays, and you have like probably 1,000,001 people who talk about Medellin. It's not a bad place at all. It's just more of like you need to watch yourself there. In my honest opinion, you probably need to learn Spanish to navigate that place a little bit better. But with Argentina, like I never had to second guess the women on the safety front. I never had to second guess the neighborhood on the safety front. And I never had to second guess like walking around at nighttime nor daytime.
What about N-word use out there, Javi? Did you hear that at all? Said towards you or said to black people the N-word?
They don't even know what that word is.
Or during rap songs at all?
Did I hear rap song? Yeah, so they do like mimic like hip hop culture there. So like you get kids who dress like.
Did they say the N-word though when they were singing rap songs?
They don't listen to American rap. The ones I ran into would listen to like reggaeton. So like unless it's in reggaeton, they weren't really like I don't recall them ever talking to me. It's so far away. They don't I never heard them talk about American hip hop.
That's good. The more American hip hop in general goes down in listening, the better it is for us black men as passport bros. Hip hop has ruined our image for the past 30, 40 years, and we're trying to get our image back. So I'm happy if it's reggaeton, pop, Afro beats getting popular. As long as it's not hip hop where it's making us look bad, I'm cool. So I'm happy that they're not really on it like that. That's awesome.
They have assumptions on black people. Like there was one kid when I was trying to ask him like, "Yo, do you think it's gonna rain?" Because it's summertime there. So I was like, they kind of had that hot humidity and it was about to downpour. And I was like trying to race to get inside. And he started talking to me about like women and weed. So like they do have ideas on black people, but it's not like what I'm trying to say is like they dress. They're kind of like, to me, their hip hop is like, you know what? I'll say this: they're in the '90s hip hop, so they're into like Biggie, Tupac. They have like a lot of, or not a lot. They had a few Biggie murals I saw in the city, kind of hidden throughout. A lot of Latin America is like still in the '90s and 2000s. Like they still listen to Eminem, so they're not like, if you're expecting them to be like Skepta, they don't know who that is. If you're I actually wore a Skepta T-shirt there because I went to a Skepta concert. They don't know who that is. I talked to them about like Megan Thee Stallion.
There was a Skepta concert in Argentina.
No, I didn't go to his concert. I went to his concert in America, but I have a T-shirt from his concert, and I wore it, and they were like, "Who is this?" Like they don't. I even asked one of them about Megan Thee Stallion because about twerking. They looked at me like, "Who is that?" Like they don't even know who that is.
This is good.
And if I may, real quick, I remember going around asking like for recommendations on where I can go to like hear like hip hop music or like hip hop clubs, and a lot of them kept like referring me to like reggaeton and Afrobeats places. Which when you're there, like they do play like a lot of reggaeton and Afrobeats, and you might get like a few hip hop songs like here and there.
From like 2005.
Yeah. It'll be some of like the older ones, but they love their reggaeton for sure. And something else that I noticed when I was in Argentina is, so when I was first walking around, like no one was speaking English, like no one could understand or like speak English. And then I remember I went to like this restaurant, and like the whole staff spoke English, and I was like, why is no one speaking English? They're like, what are you talking about? Like a lot of people here speak English. And that's when I found out that all of the people in Argentina that speak English, majority of them like grew up in private school, so like grew up like with means. And the ones that don't speak English like didn't go to private school, they went to public school, so they never really learned English. That was like two things that I kind of like picked up there. Like the people who grew up more well off, like those were the ones that like were bilingual and you could speak English with.
So if people don't.
And were they checking for brothers, the ones that spoke English, bro, or was it the ones that didn't speak English?
Yeah, the ones that spoke English, they were super friendly to me, super friendly to me. The only thing that, so I kind of like set myself up. This one night at a club, I approached like a group. It probably was like 6 of them, and like me, I speak Spanish, so like, and I had really been practicing this one line like the entire night. So when I went over and spoke it to the crowd, it came out like perfect Spanish, like the pronunciation, everything. And I was trying to invite them to my table, and they were like, no, no, we're good. And then I started like talking English, and they like stopped me for a second. They're like, wait, like are you actually like American? And I was like, yeah, I'm American. And I had to like pull out my like passport card and show it.
All right. I remember you. Yeah, you went to Uptown, right?
Honestly, I forgot. I know it was in Palermo. Okay. Though. I know it was in Palermo.
I had a similar thing, IP, happen to me at a cafe. I was talking to an Argentinian woman in Spanish, and then I said something about US, and we switched to English, and her face, kind of like lit up. We didn't like talk that deep because it was a World Cup going on, so they kind of were more like focused on that. But I noticed that difference of like, they're more, I suspect with Black, they assume Dominican, Haitian, because there's a Haitian community down there as well, or some type of like poor country. But if you speak English to them, they're like, yo, like it's kind of like, because they'll just be like, oh my God, New York, America. And they would it'll be a wrap.
So basically, right, speak English to differentiate yourself from
basic rules. Business casual attire there will get you definitely a bonus, in my opinion. And open in English. Like Spanish, but open in English, because they will know, okay, this person, they kind of see you on their level. I think because they're the secret is, all right, so a lot of immigrants go down to Argentina from poor countries like Nicaragua and like Venezuela. So when they see dark, they assume another immigrant from a country trying to get a better life that can't make it to America. So when you speak English, they're like, all right, the conversation shifts. Like there's more respect. Like this is a cafe. I just want to order. She was like, yeah, da 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 da, and then switched to English, to confirm I was American, and was like, oh my God, I'm seeing, they don't see Black Americans. So it's like I'm seeing a unicorn in front of my face.
Bro, they actually told me like after I proved, they're like, oh wow, so you're actually from America. They said sorry. They said sorry, we were being a little rude before. We thought you were an African refugee pretending to be American.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
It's like
they
that down there.
they said that it's like a huge problem there where people were like foreigners, which like in their case from Africa have like snuck into the country, so they speak like perfect Spanish, and they thought I was like pretending to be American, I was like wow, and they say even like how you're dressed, and I was wearing like Ralph Lauren polo, and they said like yeah those guys can get that too. I was like what?
I doubt it though. That stuff is so expensive down there.
Yeah. So the business casual thing that you mentioned, I remember when I got a table at one of the clubs, I did see like some other brothers and like some locals. They were in there like with the like in business casual, like doing their thing. So I would recommend that if you're like going to like a club, because
Yeah, definitely at the clubs. The clubs have funny dress codes. I'm not sure if you ran into that, but some of the clubs
Should
would say like casual, and then you show up and it'd be like, I don't know. They would still be casual, but I think yeah, if a black guy to bona fide you get in, just don't go off with the white dudes wear. Just wear business casual. 'Cause some people went to the club wearing like gym clothes, and I was like, I don't think you
oh
let my black
no.
butt in with that.
should brothers travel alone or in a group to Buenos Aires, Argentina, Javi?
Group, I would say a group. I'm not sure if the other guy agrees with me. I'll say, I mean, you can go by yourself. I went solo, but I told people, I'm like, if I could get a group down there, like just one or two people, that'd be because you hit the clubs a little bit better. What I did, I mimicked the Black British guy. I wish I could have brought him because he's like deep in the club culture. We would get tables or like little sections at the clubs,
Yeah.
and then just invite the Argentinians in, and then it just made life so much easier. And then they see black guys having a good time and clubbing. It just it's a better time rather than
So you would bring the woman to your spot that you booked the VIP area, and you would
yep.
get no hate at all from the men.
I didn't see it I saw more of the hate on the street in person. I didn't pay attention to the dudes in the club. I saw it more in like the street when I would wear it because I have a more uh, unique fashion taste. So I think I saw more than when there were women would look kind of be like, like all right, this black guy coming in. But nah, I didn't in the clubs. Most black guys I ran into were chilling. When I was at the one like 3 or 4 times, they were chilling.
Awesome, awesome.
I would also
So
agree. Oh,
go,
sorry.
go on, go. You go and
I
say
would,
your
I
part,
would,
bro.
I would also agree as far as like going with the group, because most of the women that you'll encounter there, they'll be like three, four,
Mm-hmm.
five, like five, like it'll be like a bunch of girls like rolling around in a group. So if you can go down there with a group and get a table, that's literally gold. Like we were doing that, and we were just like bringing like girls to the table and kind of like letting them choose in a way.
I think they're more comfortable like
Awesome.
that. When I think about it, when I was going out, yeah, I never saw anyone by themselves. Like even when
Yeah,
I see people by themselves, I would eventually see them meet up with somebody. So yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
more like
All
they're
right,
like barely even in twos,
yeah.
like way
all
more
right.
people.
So I'm gonna wrap it up, so I can't stay on too long, brothers. So, KW, do you want to say your? Actually, before I say so, Smitty says, if you think hip hop, the reason why black men are bad and I got some lakefront props to sell to you, well, I would say hip hop is one of the major images that makes us look bad worldwide. It is the majority is what's taken up the media. I've been to the countries I've been to, they play hip hop, and they're saying the N word. Brothers are obviously got the guns out, rapping about killing other black men. It's not a good look. It really isn't. Every country I've been to so far, hip hop has been on the TV, in my hotel room, in the hotel lounges. It is embarrassing. Hip hop is making us look bad. It's funny how we had hip hop, right? Mostly black men rap about killing other black men, saying the N word. But I don't say it for other groups of races. Something malicious is going on there, in my opinion. But that'll be for another stream. Okay. Shout out to Mr. Winton Bowen for the $5 super chat. He says for the movement. Thank you both for the support. Much appreciation, Winton Bowen. Awesome. Let's wrap it up. So, Mr. KW, do you have any closing statements, bro?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If brothers are thinking about going down to Argentina, I would definitely say it's not a place that you should plan to make a short trip. The longer you can stay, the better. If you are someone that works remote, um, I think it's a cool spot. I mean, as me and the brother mentioned, like especially as far as like a safety standpoint, it's pretty good if you know a little Spanish. That can get you a long way. It just may take you a little longer kind of to get like acclimated and actually like get your reps in with like approaching and like meeting quality women. I mean, it's one of my favorite places because I mean the women they did treat me well, and for some reason all of them wanted to cook for me. It was it was like caught me off guard. But yeah, I mean, if you have any other questions, I kind of like touched on a lot of stuff in the previous Argentina stream that I did with IP like a year ago.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. KW. Great to hear from you, brother. And we'll speak soon, okay, bro?
Sounds good. Sounds good, bro.
And we gotta catch up, brother, on IG. Okay, so let's catch up as soon as possible.
KW also just added you, by the way. So
that's awesome.
If you're free after this call, I would love to hop on a call with you real fast. I don't know if you, yeah.
All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let me know.
All right, awesome. Thank you, KW. Appreciate you, bro. So Mr. Javi, thank you very much, bro, for your time. It's greatly appreciated your entire job for the brothers. It means a lot, bro. Do you have any closing statements, brother?
I'll keep it short. I'll keep it to 2 points. One, for Buenos Aires, if you're a remote worker, go. It's the best work remote spot. I would say like it's the next Medellin because it's work remote, it's safe, it's developed, it has all the Western amenities, and then some. Women, like I said, the miles may vary. I can't recommend every guy to go there for the women, but if you want to kind of get a break from the States, a different culture, a different vibe, definitely a good spot to go to. And yeah, I would say that's pretty much it. My second point just more relates to where I'm at now. Look forward to, in May, if we can connect and do a stream about where I'm at right now. I definitely have some pretty good intel on this place. But yeah, Buenos Aires, don't worry about the racism. Go, man. Like your swag, your demeanor, we're intelligent, classy men that travel. We're not like these white guys that do weird stuff. They need people like us out there. So don't be afraid. If you have the time, the money, book a flight down there. You probably really won't regret it. I didn't have like a 10 out of 10, but it was I'm going to go back for a month to kind of give it more of a shot. So I did half a month, kind of saw my thing. I want to go back again and give it more of a shot. So that's why KW could kind of feel it more than I could on certain things, but I know a Black British kid that lives down there full time. He loves it. I'm telling y'all, you got to check it out. It's a good spot.
Awesome. Thank you again, Mr. Javi. Much appreciation, brother. All right, so thank you to all the brothers who called in, especially you, Mr. KW. Great speaking to you again, brother. Hope you keep them well. Let's catch up very soon, bro. And of course, shout out to all those who have always shown support by hitting the PayPal and the super chats. I've got one super chat here that I'm going to read in a minute. Let me just check something real quick. Give me a second, brothers. Chotomate. Hold on, brothers. Hold on. This is long, bro. What's going on here, bro? All right, hold on, brothers. Shout out to Mr. Matt Battle in the building. Thank you, Matt, for the support. Salute to you, bro. As always, you supporting Hall of Fame member Matt Battle for the $19.99 super chat. Thank you, Matt. Shout out to IP for always giving us fresh content. Thank you very much, bro, for the kind words. It means a lot to me, Matt. Hope you're keeping safe, brother. And all the best to you, bro. Thank you, bro. And welcome back, Matt. It's been a minute, brother. Fantastic. All right. Thank you to everyone. And have a great week ahead. And I'll speak to you, brothers, very soon. Peace out, brothers. Thank you very much.